For the cheapest coins with fast delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor Red Zone Coins and use code SWIFT at checkout for 20% off.
So family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another video on the channel, and in today's video I have my official 2020 YouTube setup tour. Now this setup has come a long way from when I started. I honestly only had a few of these products when I got started off with, and I'll explain to you guys as I go through the whole setup what those products were. Now before we hop into this one, I want to give a huge shout out to Newer for sponsoring this video. They actually sent me a few products which I will highlight as I go through each of the pieces of equipment. But again, thank you to Newer for sponsoring the video. I will leave their links to their products down below in the description. They have some great lighting, audio, and video products. I would definitely recommend you check them out. And of course, I will have every single product that I currently use linked down below in the description with some Amazon links. So if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel or you want to maybe upgrade your setup, go check out those links and click them. And you guys can shop some of the products that I currently have in this setup. Now, without further ado, let me show you guys what we are working with right now. So as you guys can see, this is the setup that we are working with right now. Obviously, to start with, I did not have almost any of these products, but let's start it off with the audio right here. Right now, I am using a Blue Yeti microphone. In my opinion, that's probably the best YouTube, I guess you could say intermediate microphone. If you want something a bit cheaper, you could go for like the Blue Snowball, but the Blue Yeti has been really good to me. I've actually been thinking about upgrading to the new Elgato microphone, but for now, this one definitely does the trick. I also do have an arm on this microphone, which I think is super important. This was actually sent to me by Newer, so if you guys are looking for an arm, I will link that down below in the description. I think it's actually pretty important though to get the microphone off your desk. It actually sounds a lot better. Now that I'm able to get it a bit closer to my face, I'll actually move this arm in to the left a little bit when I am shooting, and then it can kind of just sit right here while I do record, and it doesn't end up going in the shot. Now we also have my laptop right here, which is used for basically everything YouTube related, editing, streaming, uploading. I do it all on this laptop, and I basically do only use it for YouTube. I believe it's called an MSI GF75. The reason why I went with a laptop instead of a PC is because I actually do have to transport this setup from home to school, so it would be a hassle to have to get two PCs, like one in each place. So instead I decided to go for a laptop. This is pretty expensive, but in my opinion, it was worth it for me because again, I'm gonna have to move it place to place. Obviously, if I do end up going full time in a couple of years, then hey, I'll get a PC. But for now, this one does the trick and it definitely works well for me. Now, next up, I wanna talk about the lighting, boys. Lighting is a super underestimated part of your setup. I have two pieces, I believe they're called Newer 440 LED lights. These are some really good starter LEDs. I actually did start using them, I want to say about 3 videos ago, and people commented asking if I got a new camera, which in fact I actually had not yet gotten. I did actually just get this Sony camera a few days ago. I'll talk about that in a second, but the lighting was so good that people actually thought that I got a new camera. That's how important lighting is. Again, I'll have them linked down below in the description. I would definitely recommend checking out Newer. The build quality of these is super good. You can actually change the color of them on the back, and all they do require is a plug into the wall. So big fan of these lights, and I think lighting has made this setup super nice to go along with the LEDs that I have around the edges of it, which I think make it super sick as well. Now in terms of the camera, we have a Sony a5100. I think the Sony a5100 is probably the best option, I want to say, when it comes to getting a camera that you plan on using basically just for streaming and content creation. Also, you have to get a capture card when you're using this camera. I do have the Elgato Cam Link. All this stuff is decently expensive, but at the end of the video, I'll talk about what I just used to start with, because you guys don't need to have a setup that is as good as this. But this camera, I'm a big fan of it, and I think where I am right now as a YouTuber, my setup kind of mimics the size of my channel. Now, in terms of the monitor, I've had this one for a while. I actually don't know what it is called. I think I have it linked in the description, but it's just an Asus monitor. Definitely has been good to me, and I am definitely a fan of it. Now on the left, we have a couple other things, just a plant for some greenery, because why not? I've also got the world's best boss mug. Shout out to The Office. I don't know if you guys watch The Office, but big fan of that show. And then I do have a little sticker on this remote. My sister got it to me for Hanukkah, so hey. That's what the setup is looking like, and then basically just a regular office type of desk chair. But that's what we're working with, boys. It is as simple as that for what I use. I don't think it's super advanced. I'd say the products that are probably the most valuable to me gotta be the microphone. The microphone, honestly, in my opinion, is more important than a camera. Get good audio when you're starting off your channel. That is much more important to me than good video. And I think that the laptop has been huge to me. Before, I used a really old Mac. I could actually only render in 720p. So the fact that I got this new laptop has been huge. Now I can actually shoot in 1080p. And now that I got this camera, I can shoot in 1080p 60 frames per second. So each of these upgrades have been calculated, and they've really helped out a lot. Now let me tell you guys what I was actually rocking with at the start of this year. So yeah, I switched back to my actual setup to talk about this, but at the start of the year, here is exactly what I had. So for my audio, I had this Blue Yeti microphone and I just had it on the desk. I think this microphone costs about 75 bucks, so that's $75. And then in terms of shooting my face cam, I used a Logitech C920. I don't use that anymore. That's just a webcam that costs you about 50 bucks. You don't have to worry about getting this dummy battery. You don't have to worry about getting the Elgato Cam Link. All you literally do is plug that into your computer and you can shoot in 720p footage right off the back. That was like 50 bucks, I want to say, as well. And those were literally the only two pieces of equipment that I had. I didn't even have an Elgato capture card to capture my gameplay for the longest time. All I would literally do if I was streaming is I would stream off my PS4, which is absolutely free. And if I was recording a video, you simply just double tap the share button on your remote and it'll start to record for you. So essentially I would have the audio and the video recording on my laptop, and then I would record the game on the PS4 console. Once I was done, I'd have to put it all together, which was definitely a little bit annoying, but that's all it took to start the channel. It was about, let's say, like 150 bucks of investment to get it going. If you're getting going, all you really need is a microphone, and you can try this out for yourself. That's what I would recommend you're doing if you're starting off. Of course, all of this stuff has come as the channel has continued to grow, but I think when you guys are making upgrades, one thing that I see a lot of people do is they just kind of make upgrades for the sake of making upgrades. Now, to me, that's not the route that I went. Each of my upgrades is calculated and added some type of value to my setup. So right off the bat, when it comes to this microphone, upgrading to this mic with better audio quality is something that can help my setup a ton. The laptop right here, before I could actually only render in 720p. So when I get this laptop, I can move my quality up to 1080p, which is absolutely huge. Now the camera as well, before the webcam that I had could actually shoot in only 1080p 30 frames per second. This camera right here can get into 1080p 60 frames per second, which you guys don't know, just kind of makes the image a little bit clearer and definitely makes it a much better quality in my personal opinion. The lighting has helped my setup a ton. People thought I got a new camera because I got new lights. The microphone arm allowed me to get the mic closer to my face and allowed me to get better audio. So that's why I think it's really important to actually make upgrades that you know are going to help your setup out instead of just buying stuff that you're not quite sure is going to improve your setup. It's important to be calculated with your upgrades. Of course, you don't want to waste too much money, and as you continue to grow, definitely reinvest some of the money you make off of YouTube. I would say on average, for those of you that are thinking of getting started, you make about $3 per 1,000 views. So let's say you're able to rack up a solid amount of views, you should be able to buy some equipment that can improve your setup. I would always recommend continuing to improve the quality of your video, especially if there's something that's super noticeable. So for like me, I would say that getting that quality upgrade and saving up to buy this laptop was the most important thing that I've done for the setup, and it improved my quality exponentially. So again, going along with kind of the two themes I've said in today's video, just make sure that when you're making an upgrade, you know it's actually helping, and reinvest those funds that you make off of YouTube. But that is my setup. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and until next time, fellas, I'm out. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.